Can you give the argument for why Khris Middleton is a top 10 player?
Both of y'all need to get this argument.
I can say that the reason for that is because you could argue that he's the best offensive player on that team. Okay, number one in the Eastern Conference Finals. All right, and that to a point, Giannis, an MVP, a two-time MVP, right, leans on him. Okay, I didn't know he can get that hot. Okay, he was chucking them from when there was one corner shot. I don't even know if it was a three or not. I said, that's not going. That's a bad shot. The dude was taking bad shots and they were going in at some points. And I mean, he was locked in. It's a shooter's league. We know he can do that. He can get to the free throw line. He's a complete offensive player, man. And I think his IQ serves him best. And I think also him playing with that chip, like you said, he has to go through the ringer to get to where he's at right now. That is an underrated factor where, guys, they play a certain way, man. They play a certain way. And there's a lot of guys in the league that had to go through that. And look where they are now. Some of them escape me. I can't think right now. But top 10, I'm trying to think of 10 guys I would choose over him.
I was about to say, because you put him top 10, who are you taking out? That's always the question.
Let me do it. Everybody healthy, okay? 10 guys. I'm taking Steph. I'm taking LeBron. I'm taking AD. I'm taking Giannis. I'm taking who else? I'm taking him over Tatum. Okay.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm taking him over Tatum.
I'm taking him over Tatum. I'm taking him over Tatum.
Over Tatum. Yes, I am taking Khris Middleton.
I'm taking him over Tatum. I'm trying to think. I'm taking Luka. I think I'm at 5 right now. I'm taking Luka. Who else? I'm not taking anybody on the Heat.
I'm not taking
anybody on the Bulls. I'm taking Dame. I think that's 6.
Wait. We just gonna scroll over that.
Over what?
Jimmy Butler in your top 10?
Jimmy Butler's my favorite player in the league, and he's not the top 10 player in the NBA. He's not even a first option. Jimmy Butler's not a 1.
He's not a 1. The Miami Heat to the NBA Finals a year ago.
How
the bubble fraud Heat, man. The bubble fraud Heat. Listen, he's my favorite player in the league. Y'all know I'm a Bulls fan. He's not a top 10 player in the league.
Hold on. The bubble fraud Heat. Do you know that? So you think that they beat Milwaukee because it was in the bubble?
I think their performances had a lot to do because of the fact that they didn't have to go anywhere and play. And I get it. Everybody had to deal with the same no crowd and all of that.
That's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. You think they only beat Milwaukee because they were in the bubble?
Oh, no. They were a team last year. Okay.
I was gonna say they were a nightmare match. Bubble aside, if there was no bubble,
No.
They were a nightmare matchup for Milwaukee.
Absolutely. That zone, Milwaukee didn't know how to do it, and was just horrible because high school players know how to break a goddamn 2-3 zone. Okay. They were definitely the better team, but I think their success relied heavily on the play of their role players, and I don't think their role players are playing like that if we had a regular playoffs. That's just my opinion. If it's a bad opinion, whatever. But I think I'm at 7. Luka. I can't think of other ones right now. Y'all need to help me out. But I think I said AD or whatever. I said Dame. I'm not taking Jimmy in that top 10 right now, and that's my favorite player in the league. What's the name with Denver? Joker. I think that's 8. I can't think else right now.
Paul George.
Kawhi, yes. Paul George. That might be a knee-jerk reaction. I don't think I'm gonna put George in the top 10.
Middleton?
They're like the same player right now. Would you agree? They're like the same player right now.
I would agree with that.
Right now, no. Wait, like during the regular season?
I would agree with that. I would actually very much agree with that.
They're like the same player right now.
Look. You just agreed with a friend of mine who said Khris Middleton be disappearing. You know who else be disappearing? Paul George.
Not lately.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Even A. Smith
of it is not.
Even A. Smith said something great the other day when Paul George didn't knock those 2 free throws down, which ultimately cost the Clippers the game. Great players close out games. You missed those free throws, you didn't close out the game. That's not top 10. I'm sorry.
He closed it out last night, though.
He did, and he has some great coaching on his side as well.
Stop it. He did it last night. And he did it against the Jazz. Did it when it counts.
He had to, when your team is filled with injuries, your best players not completely healthy for the series, your number two player doesn't even play. You're supposed to do that.
All right, whatever. Giannis is still the Batman of the team. Kendrick, I don't know what Kendrick
He
thinks.
is.
Yeah, hey, we're not arguing on that. I said that. Yeah, this is Giannis's team. Giannis the Batman on his team.
He is.
Hey, I'll give you this though. When we talk about this Middleton thing, you can relate it to the Warriors. Steph Curry is the best player on the Golden State Warriors. That doesn't take away that guys like Clay have bailed him out at times.
You can say that. I don't have a problem saying that. And I'm a
All right.
Steph guy. I don't have a problem saying that.
That's true.
Because Game 6 Clay, that don't happen. We're talking about OKC advancing.
Yeah. I didn't bring that up to shade anybody. I'm just trying to make a point when it comes to Khris Middleton.
All right. Because honestly, Clay bailed out the Warriors multiple times. But how many times has Khris Middleton really bailed out the Bucks? They've never been to a finals.
They're still. I mean, as far as as far as where they're at as a team with their championship hopes, they're still pretty fresh in that. I mean, they've been in the playoffs a bunch of times, but we've only been talking about them as a contender for
2 years.
3 years. Yeah.
I guess maybe 3 because Giannis got.
Talk about if they've been to a finals yet or like where's Middleton at? Like it's still pretty fresh in that conversation.
All right.
I'll take get to one.
He's not top 10, but I'm happy you guys tried to make a point here.
Where would you put him? Top 12? Top 15? Where would you put him?
I'd really have to think hard. He's probably definitely in that 15 to 20 range.
Kayson is a very disrespectful person when it comes to certain players.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? You try to compare him to Chris Bosh. That's the only thing. But I'm definitely taking Tatum. I'm taking Tatum over him. Absolutely.
Yo, that was
I'm taking Devin Book over him. I'm taking D Book over him.
I'm not taking Devin.
And I'm taking Ja over him too.
No, I am not taking Ja Morant. You are crazy. I'm not taking
Khris Middleton.
You know what? I'll take Mitchell over him. I'll take Mitchell over.
I'm taking Mitchell
over Middleton. But Ja, nah.
I'm taking Ja.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not taking the second-year point guard over Khris Middleton. No.
All right. Well, let's get into the series. Did we talk about how Trae Young's out tonight?
Yeah, we did. We did open up this with Trae Young will be out tonight. Like I mean, I don't got much to add to it right now. Like I told you guys, I was a prisoner of the moment. The Milwaukee Bucks are the better team in this series. They got a hold on this thing. I think they're gonna go up tonight. Is this an elimination game?
No,
it's 2-1.
Okay, they're going up 3-1 tonight.
My thing, okay, their confidence has to be shot because you're coming off of real bad ass whooping game 2, right? That ass is what second game in Milwaukee, bad game 2. Or was it game 3? It was game 3. First game in Atlanta. They got on a silver platter. And then last time you played a better game, a good game, probably a game that you probably, you were in it and you still lost. And then so you got to rebound from those two things. And now you find out that your leader is hurt. We're going to see what Lemon Pepper Lou can cook up. Because, I mean, he can score. We know that. He can score. But I don't know. I don't know what that lineup's going to look like. When he goes out, who's coming in his place. But I got the Bucks, just like you, Rich, and I'm assuming Kayson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Bucks. Now, I think if Trae Young can't be healthy, then the series is kind of over. I thought if Trae Young was healthy, that they still had a chance. But with him being out, and if he has to miss this game, then it really might be serious because their season is kind of on the line.
It's a deep bone bruise, so I don't think we're going to see him for the rest of this series. I think he's done.
Which is really unfortunate because he was playing really well for this whole playoff run. So to see him go out like that is kind of unfortunate. And I thought that the Hawks really had a chance to maybe win this series. But with him being out, I think it's over. Like you said, maybe we don't know what the Hawks can kind of cook up over there. Maybe they can get the crowd behind them. But if they lose tonight, and I expect them to lose tonight, going back to Milwaukee, it's over in 5.
I mean, we'll see, man, because look, hopefully it's one of those things that rallies the troops because we've been talking about all year long how deep and how athletic and how young the Hawks are. Young teams are resilient. They'll know no better. Okay. This is probably I think this is a good example I'm going to use up in a completely different sport. When the Marlins won the World Series, and I'm not even a baseball guy, it's just literally the first thing that came to my mind. When they won the World Series in 2003, that team was full of dudes that didn't know what the hell they were doing, but they won under the biggest lights at Yankee Stadium. In 6 games, they bullied the bullies. And so we'll see if Atlanta's about that life right now. I mean, I'm bringing up right now, you look at their roster, and I'm a big Collins guy. I mean, how can you not be, right? The dude could play. But in terms of what they got at their disposal, you're looking at, okay, you got Collins. I'm not big on Capella. Capella's nothing without a point guard. Bogdanovich, Werder, Gallinari's been shutting me up. Solomon Hill may need to put on his, rough some people up and, maybe give them that edge that you probably need in a game like this since your star is out. Tony Snell, I'm a Bulls guy. That's a guy to be disappearing. Cameron just ain't playing, but we'll see, man. We'll see. And Lou Williams, he's gonna have to have 30 plus for them to even have a chance. But it's defensively too.
Cameron just came back last game.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I thought Cam Rich was back.
Oh, okay.
But
that's another guy.
I see what you're talking about, and that can happen sometimes. But I think eventually that kind of runs out. Like sometimes you just run into a team that is just better than you, and if Khris Middleton is who you guys say he is, then the Bucks should just be better than the Hawks, especially without the Hawks' best player. So I think they are young and they don't know no better, and they're gonna come out here and play hard, and they might make it a closer game than some of us expect. But I think they're just gonna run into a team that's better than them. Not unless your boy Khris Middleton disappears again.
I figured out the Khris Middleton hate. Because Kayson could be a petty person at times, and like he's not happy with my, pandemic peace slander. So because he sees that, I like to make points about Khris Middleton that are similar, he's just going to like die on that hill that Khris Middleton's not as good as like we all say he is.
Stephen A. Smith came out and said he's been on a roller coaster the whole playoffs, and that's true. Name one game one so far that he's played good in.
That's why it goes to Mike's point that him and Paul George are similar players.
Yeah.
And I've been defending Paul George. I have. That's one thing that I'm on your side with that Paul George argument, Kayson, and not necessarily Rich's. But I mean, right now, that's the same dude, in my opinion.
You know what it is too? Maybe because we've seen Paul George be able to do it at being the best player. Khris Middleton hasn't really gotten an opportunity to show us that he can do it as the best player on the team. Because it's different when teams are worried about Giannis and you're the second best player trying to create your own shot. When you're the best player and teams are focused in every night to stop you as the best player, is Khris Middleton going to be the same Khris Middleton?
But that's not fair, man. That's not his fault. Like, people used to give Kevin Love that same thing. Like, oh, look what he's doing, averaging 20 rebounds and his double-double. He's the best player on the sorry Minnesota team. That's not his fault. He's doing it in the NBA.
It's not his fault, but it's just now it's like, I guess, and maybe this is why superstars maybe do what they do sometimes, because people like us. Now it's like, can you do it alone? So it's hard for me to put you over someone that I know did it in maybe a tougher situation than you are. Sometimes it's easier. So it's like when a player puts up good stats on a garbage team. Now you're like, can you do that on a good team? You guys are going out there every night. Half of the teams don't even care to play you guys, and you're putting up numbers. You're the best player. You can get the ball 30 times on a bad team. So if you put up enough shots, you're an NBA player. You should score enough. But can you do that on a good team where maybe you got to pass it a little more, or maybe games matter a little more? So that's maybe where I'm at with it.
It comes with the territory, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess maybe I look at it differently because you guys basically look at him as like a 1B to Giannis. So if that's the case, then...
Well, Giannis even said it himself. He came out after the game and said if Khris wants the ball, he's going to get the ball because he's proven it.
I mean, KD said a whole bunch of good things about Russ before he left. What does that mean?
What KD said about Russ was valid. We learned, a lot of the media wants to push narratives as to why KD left. KD didn't necessarily leave because of Russell Westbrook. You know, there was a lot of things going on there. So we know a lot of the real of that whole breakup in Oklahoma City.
The thing is, people like to big up their teammates when they're on the same team, but it is what it is. I got the Bucks.
He still bigged up Russ when they weren't teammates anymore.
Not publicly. I got the Hawks in 5. I mean the Bucks in 5. Sorry, the Bucks is over tonight with no Trae Young.
I got the Bucks at 5. I wanted